everybody, it's Doreen and I'm back today with another retirement card. Yes, I have another person in the department that I work in that is retiring. So far I think that's 3 this year. So what does our card look like for today? This is the card that we will be making, and we will be using our silhouette, and we will also be using the print and cut feature. Now I'm not going to show you how to do the print and cut feature because I have plenty of videos that I've shown how to do that. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so I'm going to bring up the supplies and we'll get started making our card. So as I said, this is going to be a retirement card. Seems like we have a lot of people in my department that are retiring. Hopefully I will be soon myself so I can devote full time to my crafting. So I've already started prepping some parts of my card. So the card measures 8.5 by 5.5, and I've taken and scored in half to make it a 4.25 by 5.5 inch card. And I've also gone ahead and done some ribbon loops down here at the bottom. I wanted to go ahead and do that ahead of time so you didn't have to watch me do that on camera. Now as you can see, this is some white cardstock. So I decided I wanted just a faint hint of the yellow on the cardstock, using the cardstock, and I didn't want to use a yellow sheet of cardstock because I wanted to kind of blend it in. So what I did was I took my Copic markers and my airbrush system and I just kind of sprayed the card to get the color effect that I wanted. So the colors that I used were Y21, which is buttercup yellow, and I also used the yellow Y06, and then I used the Y11 pale yellow. So I kind of just mixed those in. I sprayed one and then sprayed the other and just kind of went along until I got the effect that I wanted. And then the next thing I did was I ran it through one of my embossing folders, and this one is called a large dot. I don't know who this is by, but I know it's not a Cuttlebug, and I know it's not, I think it might be a Diarese folder. And then I've already done my print and cut for my sentiment, and you can ignore that. That's covering up our our last name rather, for myself and my husband, because we do work in the same department. As a matter of fact, we met through work. So now let's go ahead and start adding the rest of our embellishments and our layers. So I've gone ahead and used the Scallop nested oval silhouette file. So if you have the Scallop die, which I do believe I do have, but the reason why I used the silhouette to do this is because I did not have any cardstock that was this color. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a white with the yellow dots. So what I did was I used my print and cut to get the effect that I wanted, and I already had this file that I downloaded previously, so I just cut everything using my silhouette. And then I've also gone ahead and inked my edges using the Holtz Distress ink. I'm using the mustard seed on the edges here. So for the nested scallop, I think this is the third one from the smallest, and then we have the next size that I just used some plain yellow textured cardstock that was a scrap, and then I did the print and cut with this one as well, and I think this is the next to the smallest. So we're going to put these three together. So we'll put this one on, we'll get some tape on the back of here, and I'm just going to use my Tombow for this. And I want to kind of line this up in the center and kind of try to match up my scallops. Now I might not, but that's okay. And then I'll add my next layer, and I'll put some tape on the back of here, because eventually we're going to pop this whole thing up. So we're going to put this all together first, and I'm going to line that up there. and that's gonna sit right here on our card. And then I use my print and cut to print out this, and this is also a labels die, and this spoon actually comes with the coffee cup. I just kind of attached it to my little sentiment here, and that's gonna sit right there. So why don't we add this now? And I do want to pop this up. I'm going to use a lot of dimension with this card because we know how I like, next to bling, I love to add dimension to my cards. So let me get some foam tape here, and we'll put one on each end. Get that off of there, and I think I'll put one in the middle as well. So let's get our tape backing off of here, and then we'll add this one to the card. So this is, I believe, my third card that I've had to make for retirement this year. So we're just going to line this up, and I'm going to place that about right there. So now we're ready to add, let's make sure we got that right. We're going to line this up and put this here. But before we put this down, because I am going to pop this up, I'm going to go ahead and start putting our little coffee cup together. Now I already started adding, you know what? Yes, I had to add the bling in between the little polka dots that were on the coffee cup. And I will put a link to the scallops as well as the label die, but the wording I saw on another card on the web somewhere, but I will put the link to the label as well. And you've seen me do enough of showing you how to do print and cut, so I'm not going to show you how to do that. You just look at one of my previous videos. So let's go ahead and finish adding the rest of the pieces to the card. So our next piece that we need to lay on here, so there is a little bit of paper piecing, but not that much. So I want to get some glue on here, and I'm just going to use my two-way zig pen, so I'm stepping off the camera for just a minute so I can get that on there. And then I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to line this up and add this onto the card. I'm sorry, onto the coffee cup. So we'll place that layer. And then we'll add, oops, one of our little bling came off. Guess it wasn't on there all the way. Glued on there. So let's just go ahead and add this back real quick. I still have my tool on, and I think it's about time to get a new one because this one is not getting as hot as it used to. And we know I put bling on pretty much all my cards, so I can understand why it's not staying. Okay, I think it's on there now. So let's finish adding our next piece. So I'll get some glue on there. So this is a little bit of paper piecing, but not much. And this piece, oh, I'm going to flip that on my tweezers so I can get that on there right. We're going to put this and line it up right along here. Oops. I came down too far, so I got to pull it up and it might be because I have it, maybe I have it upside down, so I'm going to flip it. And then I'm going to add it again. I guess there might not be a right or a wrong way to putting this on here. And that one does not want to stay on there, so I'm going to take care of that off camera. You don't need to sit here and see me keep putting that one on there. And I think it keeps coming off because there's no glue on the back of there. So we'll just get another one and add it. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit too so you can see what I'm doing here. So now we need to add our next piece, which is this really tiny piece here, and that's going to go over here. So the brown is supposed to be your coffee, or what looks like your coffee. So we'll get some glue on this little thin piece. It's very thin, but it cut out on the silhouette just perfectly. No problems. So I'm going to pull this a little bit closer to me so I can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to add this. And it's sticking to my fingers there. And then we had another one pop off. Well, I don't know what's going on here. I think it has a lot to do with I need a new iRock tool or whatever. This is actually by Dyrese. It's an application wand. Whatever. I need a new one because my bling is not sticking. So let me step off camera and add those back, and then we'll continue on, because I'm also going to pop this up, and once I pop this up with the foam tape, it'll be harder to get the bling on. That's why I kind of did it ahead of time. So I'm going to go ahead, put these back on, and then I'll come back. Okay, everybody, so I am back, and one of the things that I also did was this file does come with a little swirl for like the coffee coming out of the cup, and I didn't like that one, so I had one left over from the previous card that I did, retirement card that I did. So I just added that, and I kind of lifted this layer here up and stuck it down inside there. So if you're going to do this coffee cup, put this together, this little piece, this little circular piece, and your swirl. Put those two together first, and then add it to the cup. So now my cup is all ready to be added to my scallops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my scallops, and I am going to pop these up. So I'm going to put some foam tape in each corner, or sort of in each corner. One at the top, bottom, and then also on the left and right. And we'll take these off. And that one's already off. And I'm going to bring my card forward. And I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to try to get this in the center of the card. And about right there is where I want it. And then we can add our coffee cup with the coffee. So let's get some foam tape on the back of here. So this one is really going to be three-dimensional. And I'm just going to put one piece. And then I'm going to add that. I think I'll put that right there. So there we have it. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my embellishments on. Just going to add just a little bit more. Maybe not bling, but something else. And then I'll come back with the finished card and my envelope. Okay, everybody, so I am back with the finished card. So I didn't add any more bling to it, but I did go ahead and put a bow up here in the corner, and I added a butterfly that does have a little bling in it. And then also I've gone ahead and added some glossy accents in the inside of the cup and down here on the spoon. Now it's not quite dry yet, but I wanted to hurry up and get this video done, so I'm going to be very careful and just lay it right over here. So now for my envelope, I did use my We Are Memory Keeper 123 punch board to make my envelope. And because my cards are always three-dimensional, I'm now making the envelope box. But I added some things on the envelope, which I usually do anyway. But I went ahead and put this flower together, and this was an actual free file on the Silhouette online store website. It was free for the week. By the time you see this video, it won't be free anymore because I make my videos ahead of time. So I went ahead and put this together, and this makes a really pretty flower that you can put together. Now I did cut it out in white cardstock, and then I once again took the mustard seed Tim Holtz Distress ink, which looks like this, and I colored in the cardstock the way I wanted to color it. You know, I just went ahead and randomly just colored in each flower, and then I put the flowers together using my glue gun. And there are several other layers to this. It's just that it got really big and it wouldn't fit on the envelope, so I just only used just a few of the layers. But you do get quite a few layers to go ahead and make any kind of flower you want, or however large you want it. And then I also did that for the center. I colored it in with the yellow, the mustard seed Distress ink. And then down here I just used my Silhouette and the print and cut to type out "Enjoy your retirement." So that's it, everybody. This is the retirement card that I've made for another one of my coworkers that is retiring. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.